Well, hello, my pickles, my snowflakes, my turtles, and my Goldilocks. Of course, Goldilocks is my favorite. I'm one. I love it when I hear from you that a lot of you are Goldilocks as well. I've got my Wicked Joe's French roast coffee. Mm-hmm. High test strength, like espresso. It's great. It works. So here we are. How are you doing with your keto food plan? How are you doing with the things you promised yourself? Kind of the last time you had some naughty no-nos and said, that's it, January 1st, done, gonna start over. How you doing with that? I'm doing pretty good with my resolution to just keep it clean. I don't mean a New Year's resolution. I just mean, in general, my philosophy of how I handle my foods, and it's working for me. I'm enjoying my keto lifestyle. I haven't been watching a lot of videos. I've kind of like stepped back from the influx of new information just for a while. It's just with all of the stressors of the world out there, I just figure, well, the less coming in, the less stress, right? So I do my chronometer with my foods every day. It just keeps me accountable to me. Nobody else is reading it and saying, mm, mm, mm. I weigh and measure for the most part. Sometimes it's ballpark, like when I make my bowl of salad every day, my chunks of veggies. Um, it ends up 20 to 30 grams of the red pepper, 20 to 30 grams of the yellow pepper, 70 grams of the, English cuke, things like that. But it just works for me and it keeps me, even the serving pieces, the bowls, the plates, the bigger bowls, the bigger plates, it's all an accountability thing. And once you've been doing this for a while, you know that a certain bowl is a good size for you. A certain plate is what you like to put your stuff and such on, and it just ends up a good mix. It just fits right. And that's how I like to be as well. You just get, I guess maybe it's kind of like intuitive eating in a sense with the utensils and the plates and bowls that you choose. It's like an intuitive way of knowing that when you have this bowl, this plate, this spoon, this fork, this knife, that it makes for a good meal. It just all flows and you like it. When I'm in doubt, I will add like a tablespoon of ghee to my veggie bowl. I kind of, as you know, I've got my bowl of veggies, the salad part, the raw veggies, and then I'm liking that Fiesta bowl that I put Brussels sprouts and zucchini and asparagus, and I've got a butternut squash cooking right now, and I'll use that as my base, and I'll put my chicken breast on top of that with a tablespoon of ghee, and having the bowl here and the bowl here. It's just a nice meal. It takes a while to get through. Lord knows it's colorful. I love colorful bowls, plates. I love my Fiesta ware, as most of you know. But I also love the colorful display of veggies. And I think nature does a pretty good job with them. So I like them. I'm veg heavy because I'm a volume eater. And I like to feel full at the end of my meal, satiated and content at the end of my meal, not stuffed, not like a beached whale, which is what my lifestyle of the standard American diet, how that made me feel. And of course, 2 seconds later, you're hungry again. Forget the Chinese food part. The sugar and the white flour carb stuff would immediately make me hungry again. And because it's just, you digest it and process it. Of course, the calories stay, of course, and the spikes to the insulin, the big high, and then the big drop. And then, oh, I must be hungry. And, I don't know how many times I said I had food issues and I, had to eat every 2 hours when I was on Weight Watchers. Otherwise, I'd get that dizzy feeling and all of that kind of stuff. Now, of course, I just do my OMAD between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. And it holds me until the next day with the OMAD. It it's it's like sliced white bread for me. It's like the best invention for my older metabolism is the one meal a day. And I make sure it's loaded with enough fats and proteins and just yum that it carries me. And then the rest of the day, I look forward to my small pleasures of my water and my black coffee. And it took a while, as most of you know, to get to the places that I'm at with the clean intermittent fasting, but it seems to be working for me. And I get comments from you all the time saying, this is, I got a comment a couple of days ago, and she said, it's my 20th day of, I think 20 or 21st day of OMAD. I'm used to it, but I'm not sure how much I'm liking it or something like that. And it's like, well, they say that when you choose to have a good habit replacing a habit that wasn't good for you, just for you, that it takes 21 days to make it into some sort of habit. And so I told her that. I said, well, congratulations, because at that 21 days, 3-week mark, your body has said that, oh yeah, I'm kind of used to this. This kind of works for me. Maybe we'll just keep going. And, you end up like me. It's like 3 years later, 4 years later, I'm not sure. It's like, oh, that is the only way I know. I remember, I've had friends over the years. We used to meet for dinner at like 5 or 6 at night at restaurants and go from appetizers to desserts. And then friends, probably with keto, but it was definitely a 2MAD kind of keto, where we'd go out to breakfast to this earthy, crunchy place. Many of you have heard that story where I'm sitting there at that table with my friend and I can see into the supply pantry that they've got. It had a light in it as well as a window. There's all this Wesson canola oil, like big jugs that you'd get at BJ's and Costco. And it's like earthy, crunchy, and then you realize, of course, that, well, these places have to have those sort of oils to cook things on their grill. They're not going to use butter, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess earthy, crunchy, has their look the other way. I got to use this oil type of moments too. So, but the point of that story is that we'd go out for breakfast at like 9 in the morning, usually after like an AA meeting, and then I'd still have dinner. So she's not going to AA anymore, and I haven't been since the pandemic. So there are no more of those breakfast tete-a-tetes, and so I've been doing OMAD for so long that it's like, well, I really would only sit there and drink too much black coffee, probably. So it definitely changes, and it definitely, being keto OMAD, having it in the middle of the day, Greg is accommodating because he works for himself, and he's out the door sometimes at 4:35 in the morning to get his day going, like if he's working on a heating system or air conditioning system in a house that nobody is in, he can go when he gets up. So he does that. So both of us have put in a full day by noon, and so it just works out for us. But as far as social, yeah, let's have dinner at 2. They'd look at you like you have 3 heads. And I remember I was dating this man, and he actually went by his first, middle, and last name with a third at the end. Oh yes, he was so much like this. And he drove a Jaguar, and he was just so. And he thought nothing, only riffraff would eat when it's light out still. So I remember going down to Florida to visit him because he left from living around here down to Florida. But I'd go down to visit him, and at like 9 o'clock, we're in this restaurant. And it's like, oh my God, I don't know how I made it that long waiting for dinner because it would stay light so late down there. And it was just so funny. And he just thought, his commoners ate when it was light out. You should see how common I am now. Oh boy. So yeah, it's just how we roll, and I guess it does affect our social life if you have one, even if you live with other people. I read where some people have their food. Maybe they don't eat together. Maybe they don't share that. They eat the same thing, but at just different times of the day. I don't know. It's interesting, but I know that it's what works for us. So I feel very, very lucky that way. And I'm a routine person. I'm Goldilocks with a routine. I guess that would go on my, gravestone. And I do like the norm. To me, it's like the sameness. I find comfort in sameness. And so to have kind of the same meal on the same sort of plates, the same time of day, the same amount of volume with the veggies, it just is something that just works for me and makes me happy, but I like to be content too. And so this keto lifestyle just continues to work for me. I do the total carbs. I don't take away a veggie if the carb says, it's 39 total carbs in my chronometer. It's just there for the knowing, right? I'm going to continue with it. But I like that full feeling, and I like each vegetable. I love the colors. I'm just crazy for those colors. They just add the vibrancy of life that sometimes it doesn't feel like we're getting in this time of winter and gray and cold and pandemic, right? I'm so glad you're here. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, the lifestyle, how it works, how it's just a regular, and we just do it, and it works. And so we get up and we do it another day. Why not have a second day of success? I ask for food sobriety in my prayers to a higher power every day, and it's working. So I'm going to change what's working, right? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your viewership, your watching, your comments. It just all makes it a nice community to lean on and count on. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye for now.